You are awake. Your eyes are open. That is not the same thing as being alive to this day. Most mornings, the body gets up before the mind does. You check the phone before you check your breath. You are moving, but you are not present. And the day you are about to live will match the state you start in. In 1854, a man walked into the woods outside Concord, Massachusetts, and built a cabin with his own hands because he wanted to find out what was essential and what was noise. Henry David Thoreau spent 2 years testing a single question: what does it actually mean to be awake? He wrote it plainly: morning is when I am awake and there's a dawn in me. Not when the alarm goes off. Not when the sun rises outside the window. When there is a dawn inside you. He kept pushing on the idea, and it gets sharper the closer you look. We must learn to reawaken and keep ourselves awake, not by mechanical aids, but by an infinite expectation of the dawn. Not by mechanical aids, not by the alarm, the second alarm, the coffee, the notification that finally forces your eyes open. Those things get your body vertical. None of them wake you up. He closed the book with the sentence that still cuts through 2 centuries of noise. Only that day dawns to which we are awake. Read that again. The sun does not decide whether your day begins. You do. A day can rise outside your window and never once rise inside you. You scroll through it. You react through it. You arrive at night having been present for none of it. The calendar says a day happened. Nothing and you can confirm it. His friend and mentor, Ralph Waldo Emerson, said something that lands right beside it. He wrote that a man should learn to detect and watch that gleam of light which flashes across his mind from within, more than the luster of the whole firmament of bards and sages outside him. He meant it as a warning against outsourcing your first thought to someone else's voice. The waking Thoreau and Emerson are describing is not information. It is attention turned inward, on purpose, before the world supplies its version of your morning for you. But awakeness is not only a decision of the mind. It is also a decision of the body, and traditions that predate both these men understood this with total clarity. Long before either of them wrote a word, practitioners across the Indian subcontinent built a sequence of movement meant to be done facing the rising sun. A chain of postures, breath tied to motion, the body bowing forward and opening upward in rhythm with the light. Surya Namaskar, sun salutation. 12 positions, 1 continuous exhale and inhale carrying you through all of them, repeated until the body stops being a passenger and starts being the thing doing the waking. The premise is simple and the science backs it now. The nervous system does not wait for your thoughts to catch up. Movement, breath, and light exposure in the first minutes of the day physically shift you out of the sluggish, half-present state and into one where you can actually be here. Your heart rate rises before your mind decides anything. Your lungs fill before your willpower gets involved. The body leads, and the mind, dragging its feet, finally follows it into the room. Notice what the sequence actually does. It bends the spine forward, then opens it back toward the sky. It empties the lungs completely, then fills them completely. It is a rehearsal in miniature of exactly what Thoreau was talking about in prose. The closing down of yesterday's posture and the deliberate opening toward whatever light is available today. The monks in the woods and the yogis facing the sun were solving the same problem from 2 different directions. One used a sentence, the other used a spine. Both understood that waking up is not a thing that happens to you. It is a thing you do. This is the piece most people skip. They try to think their way awake. They read a quote, feel something for 4 seconds, and go right back into the fog because the body never got the message. The dawn Thoreau described starts in the mind, but it has to move through the body to become real. You do not think yourself awake. You move yourself awake, and then the mind follows, and only then does the day you are actually going to live begin. So ask the only question that matters before you touch your phone. Is there a dawn in you right now, or are you just physically vertical? Most days, if you are honest, it is the second one. You are up. You are not awake. Your body is in the kitchen, and your mind is still 3 hours in the future, already rehearsing the meeting, already replaying last night. Nobody is home in the one place that is actually happening right now, which is this room, this light, this breath. And the day will treat you exactly like what you brought to it. A body in motion with nobody home gets a day it will barely remember living. Ask yourself, at the end of today, whether you will be able to say you were actually there for it, or whether it simply happened to you while you were somewhere else. I will move my body before I consume anything today. 60 seconds is enough to start. My arms reaching for the light through the window is enough to start. I will not let the first information I take and be someone else's noise. Mine comes first. My breath comes first. My own dawn comes before any headline, any message, any feed decides what my morning is about. I decide before I check anything else whether there is a dawn in me. And if there is not one yet, I go find it. I do not wait for it to arrive on its own, and I do not perform the search for it with my thumb on a screen. I let my body lead when my mind is still catching up. That is not weakness. That is the oldest technology for waking up that we have. Thoreau spent 2 years in the woods to learn one sentence. You do not get 2 years. You get this morning. Tell me, when was the last morning you were actually awake, not just up? I read every answer.